Authority of Insolvency and Bankruptcy Board of India, which is right now the governing body of the valuation work. As Sir has told that nowadays, being a civil engineering, this branch is, I can say, emerging one, because whatever the scam has been occurred few months or few years back, that Nirav Modi and all, the main reason behind that was banks, and one of the reason we can say that overvaluation or wrong valuation practice. So government is nowadays focusing so much on this profession. They are channelizing this profession as earlier it was like civil engineering branch only, and few years back they had introduced one branch as environmental engineering. Same way they are focusing and going to introduce one more branch. We can say this is in the pipeline, that they are going to channelize this valuation topic as a single branch even. So nowadays, this is, we can say, it is emerging business also, that each and every valuation work going on, it must be through some education or some technical base only. So, up to now, what is in our mind? What do you mean by valuation? That valuation is like simple. It is very simple thing. That area multiply by that whatever the prevailing rate in the market, right? Suppose the area is 1,000 square feet of a flat, and prevailing rate in the market is, we can say, 2,000 rupees. So 2,000 rupees multiplied by 1,000, that is the value of the property. That's it. But it is very much wrong. Okay, and if nowadays it is the practice, if you will give the valuation like that, it is not acceptable to any of the governing body. Okay, so by the end of the session, we'll come to know what is valuation, what kind of practice actually needed and actually going on nowadays in the field. Okay. Now, what is valuation? See, we as a civil engineering, we are studying the valuation. See, so we know that estimation of the building or a property means whatever the value we are arriving at, whatever the answer we are arriving at, that is valuation. That is the value of the property. But it is very much wrong. It is not like that. It is a single branch, that if we are talking about land and building, then it is like means we are the civil engineering, and that's it. We are the civil engineers, and that's it. Civil engineering, the only branch which is associated with the valuation work. It is not like that. It is a multidisciplinary subject. Means it is a combination of so many subjects like economics, law, and social effects, statistics, accounts. All these subjects are combined together, and concluded subject is valuation. Correct? So it is very well said that it is a combination of arts and science, and it is said that it is an art of estimating the valuation of property on scientific data. Whatever the data you are collecting, and you have to estimate it in a artistic way, and you will arrive at some value of the property. Now see, right now you will feel that what do you mean by art and science, and what is the art of evaluating data? Simply we are calculating, estimating some value? No, it is not like that. If I am valuing a particular property, it may be differ from person to person and place to place. Correct? How it will be, that I'll explain you with the later part of the presentation. Now, before moving to this, three important terms, very much important terms, are cost, price, and value. What do you mean by cost? All the three terms are having very little, very minute difference between this. What do you mean by cost? Cost means actual expenditure incurred. Correct? See, when we are constructing a building or producing an asset, at that time, what are the expenditure? Expenditure for man, expenditure for material and machineries. Correct? So all this expenditure coming together, and it is needed to acquire or to produce an asset or building. It is known as cost. Now, what do you mean by price? See, always Here it is a, we know it is a race for money. Okay, so what do you mean by price? So price means cost plus developers profit. Correct, usually it is like that. Okay, that whatever the cost exact expenditure incurred plus that profit of developer is added, and they will sell it in the open market, so that is price. But it so it is said that always most of the time price is greater than cost, but it is not like that. Sometimes it is it may be the case that the developer may be in some financial crunch and he has to liquidate the property, he has to sell the property at the lower price even. Correct, so much of depth will be there. Okay, and he is in urgency of selling of his property, that he requires some money due to some medical emergency or some any kind of urgency. So at that time he may sell the property less than the cost incurred also. Correct, so it may be the case that cost will be, sorry, price may be more than or less than the cost. And third one is value. What do you mean by value? See, value is not a fixed number, we can say. Okay, it is the word which is highly subjective. It is the worth to individual. How I can define worth to individual? See, suppose I am working in Maliba College. Okay, like now, if I want to, I'm staying somewhere. So if I want to purchase some property, some flat nearby Maliba, so what is the value for of that flat for me? It is much more, because daily I have to travel for my job. Okay, so if I have to pay 2 to 5 lakhs rupees more for that particular flat, so I am going to pay 2 to 5 lakhs rupees more. Correct, because value of that particular property for my better life is more compared to another one who is localite. Correct, who is staying in nearby some bad your college region, your particular job region. So it is highly subjective. It is a person specific concept. But for particular property, the value of that property is high for me because it is easy for me to for my day to day routine. I can say, I can give another example, that if my son's school is there, okay, so I'll select the region which is nearby my son's school, so day to day transportation of my son will be less. Correct, so better life, my perception for better life is that my son, it is easy for my son to go and to come back to from school to home. Correct, so for that particular property, for that particular flat, I'm going to pay much more value compared to another one. Okay, so it differs from person to person, and it differs from place to place depending upon the market. Okay, now, before moving to the core part, we will go for various values which are very much important for you to understand. Now, see, in engineering, it is always said that if you will break any definition in parts, then it will be very much easy to understand. Now, whatever the value we are giving, it is known as market value. Now, I am going to read this definition. Market value is an estimated amount for which an asset should exchange on the date of valuation between a willing buyer and a willing seller in an arm's length transaction after proper marketing, wherein parties had each acted knowledgeably, prudently, and without compulsion. You might have like, मैडम ने हैवी डोज दे दिया, करेक्ट, ये क्या पढ़ गए? Okay, what was this 5 line definition? Okay, now I am going to break this in parts. Okay, and then we will explain you meaning of each and every part. Okay, so market value is an estimated amount. We know we are carrying out some estimation and we are arriving at some amount. Okay, now other what are important things for which an asset means whatever the property, it may be flat, it may be shop, it may be your bungalow, or it may be industry. Okay, anything for which an asset should exchange on the date of valuation. Exchange means buying and selling of the property. Okay, so should exchange on the date of valuation. See here, very much important word is date of valuation. See, we are facing this problem nowadays very much. Before COVID-19 and after COVID-19, what is the value of the property? Correct? Market value, the market scenario may be different, and due to that the value of property will be different. Okay, I'll give you the another example. Before demonetization and after demonetization, the value of the property will be different. Before earthquake, any value of the property. After earthquake, it may be differ. Correct? So date of valuation is very much important. Okay, same way, between a willing buyer and a willing seller. Okay, so means, what do you mean by willing buyer and what do you mean by willing seller? I'll give you the example. Willing buyer. Okay, now willing means willingness. Okay, means no urgency, no compulsion, no stress. Okay, my willingness must be attached. I had given you the example that अभी मालिबा में जॉब लगा है, रोज मुझे दूर से आना जाना पड़ रहा है ट्रांसपोर्टेशन में. इट इज टेकिंग 1.5 hour टू गो एंड 1.5 hour टू कम बैक. सो बेटर that रोज का traveling, it is not easy for me. Okay, so there is one urgency that if surrounding region, if some property is there, I'm ready to buy that property at some more price also. Okay, 2-5 lakh more is there. Okay, I am willing to pay because daily transportation is not easy for me. So there is no willingness. It is something compulsion. It is something urgency. It is something stressed out condition that I have to buy that property at some fancy rates. Correct? So it will not give me the market value. Market में 25 लाख चल रहा है, but I am going to pay 30 lakh because, right, I have to buy it. रोज का traveling, it is not convenient to me. Same way, willingness of the seller. If right now it is the condition that someone may be in financial crunches due to this COVID. 3 महीने से कुछ business नहीं हुआ है. If some investment is there, I am willing to pay at some loss also. Correct? Sell it at some loss also. Means, again here willingness is not there. Some stressed condition is there, and I am selling that property at some discounted rate compared to the prevailing market value. So again, it will not give me the proper market value. Okay, so when willingness is not attached, at that time whatever the value will be there, it may be more or less compared to that prevailing market value. Okay, so that is why this important word is willingness of buyer and willingness of seller must be there. Then and then it will give us the proper market value. Now next one is in an arm's length transaction. Arm's length means, see, if I will extend my arm, okay, and consider this arm, length of an arm as a radius, okay, and I will make a circle, okay. So in that circle means who will stay nearby me? Mara circle ma kaun hoy? Okay, so my friends and my relatives, they are residing in my circle. Okay, so whatever the transaction occurred within the circle, it will not give you the proper market value. Correct? Friend को बेचना है, relatives को देना है, so we will give some discounted price. Okay, so again it will not give you the proper market value. So एक हाथ छोड़ दो. Okay, not with whatever the transaction occurred, it must not be within your circle. Correct? Within that, before that, after that, whatever the transaction has been occurred, that you have to consider for the defining the market value. Now next word is after proper marketing. See, if I had decided that I am in some financial crunch and I have to sell my property, okay, only one buyer is coming to me, okay, that I want to buy. Okay, no one knows. So whatever price he is asking me, I am going to sell it because I am in some crunch. Okay, means इसका marketing proper नहीं हुआ है. After proper marketing means after proper advertisement, number of buyers will be there. Okay, so and if number of buyers will be there, I am having 5 to 10 options, so I will do some haggle, means kuch negotiation karke we will arrive at some market value. Okay, so again, if proper marketing is done, then and then it will reflect the proper market value. Now next one is wherein parties had each acted knowledgeably, means when you are going to buy some property, the knowledge of property must be attached. If the property is, I can say, if it is 20 to 30 years, 20 to 25 years old property. Okay, so I know here I have to pay depreciated prices. Okay, if I don't know that this property is so much old, if it is properly maintained, then what will be the scene? I'm going to pay much more compared to whatever the prevailing market rate. Correct. So knowledge of the property must be attached, must be there with the buyers and seller. Next one is prudently. See, in our Gujarati, it is very much known as, આપણે કહીએ ને કે બહુ ડોટ ડાયો છે 1.5 over smart. Okay, super smart people. Okay, so this kind of super smartness must be avoided when you are selecting the market value. How? I will give the example. See, some of your friend is working with the SUDA and SMC or whatever. Okay, so you know that in recent in few months here TP scheme is going to be there. Okay, TP scheme is going to introduce. So what will you do? If you are having some money, so you will buy plots there, because you know that after TP scheme will be introduced, the value of this plot is going to be much more high. So abhi, if it prevailing market rate is like the value of one plot is 20 lakh, you are ready to pay, like I'm going to buy it on 22 lakh rupees or 25 lakh rupees, because after few months when TP scheme is going to introduce, it is going to give me 50 lakh rupees. Okay, so nowadays you had used your over smartness, super smartness, and you had purchased some property at 2 to 5 lakh rupees more, because you know after 6 to 8 months they are going to pay you 20 to 25 lakh rupees more. Correct. So this kind of transaction is also not considered as proper market value, because you had paid something more compared to the prevailing market rate. And last one is without compulsion. That we know that compulsion, when compulsion is that means no willingness of buyer and no willingness of seller. So again it will not reflect you the proper market value. So when you are defining market value, that time all these criteria must be satisfied, and then you can say it is a market value. Otherwise it will not known as market value. Now next one is book value. Okay, so book value means, see, in book of accounts, in balance sheet, okay, whatever the value of an property, value of an asset or property is reflected, it is known as book value. Correct. What do you mean by, in very simple language, book value means before 20 years you had purchased one machinery, okay, and its cost is say 1 lakh. Okay, so today's cost of that today's value of that property means whatever the 1 lakh rupees value original cost minus 20 years depreciation, and whatever the value you are arriving at as on date, it is known as book value. Means original cost minus whatever the number of years old property, its depreciation will give you the book value of today. Correct. It is mentioned in books of account or balance sheet of the owner of the property. Now what do you mean by breakup value? See, breakup value means, see, I'll give the example. One unit is there, it is closed down, you can say looms or any industry. Okay, so it is having a building, okay, and in that few machineries are there. Okay, so when it is a closed down unit and you have to give it on sale or for auction, what will you do? Whatever the land part is there, it is valued separately. Separately, whatever the building part is there, it is valued separately, and whatever the machineries are there, it is valued separately. Means you are breaking a entire asset, entire unit in various parts, land and building plus machinery, correct? And you are valuing its those in individually, correct? Machineries are valued individually, and building and land and building is valued individually, and you are arriving at those values individually, then it is known as breakup value, correct? Not entire unit, but value of plant and machinery individually, and value of land and building individually. Okay, now see again, here so many values are there which is important for your study point of view, and which is important for field applicability. Those only I am going to explain you. Now distress value, I had already explained you that if someone is in some financial crunch, like some medical emergency is there, or like someone's daughter marriage is there, and they are selling it at some discounted prices compared to the market value, then it is known as distress value. For sale value means, see, if you had taken some loan against the property, okay, from the bank, and you are not able to pay the installments, at that time what will happen, that the bank will sell the property by public auction, okay, and that value is for sale value. Means if you are not able to pay to the bank, your property will be sold by bank people by the public auction, then it is known as for sale value. Next one is going concern value. See, going concern value, I'll explain you with the example. Nowadays, the latest example of going concern value is SR. We know the case of SR industry. It was it is taken over by that Arsenal Mittal group. Okay, so going concern value means it is not like that SR manufacturing process or production process has been stopped. Okay, SR company was running, but it was taken over by Arsenal Mittal. Means its running business has been taken over by. Running business includes what? Land and building, means whatever the land on that, whatever the industry was there, plus whatever the machineries are there, plus whatever the we can say assets and liabilities are there, plus whatever the goodwill value. We know what is the goodwill of SR company in the market. Okay, all these value, all these components are valued together, and at some price the Mittal has taken over that company. Okay, that is known as going concern value. Means the unit was not closed down, the factory was purchased on as is varies basis. Means whatever in the running condition of business was there, in that running condition only Mittal group has purchased it, correct? So this is known as going concern value. Okay, now hope value is okay. Next one is intrinsic value, or it is known as true value. What do you mean by intrinsic value? I'll give you the example. In our Gujarat, we know that Jantri has been revised since so long, correct? It is yet not revised. So there is a big difference between the market value and whatever the dastavej you are preparing or agreement you are preparing. We know, see, when we are going to purchase any property, we are asking that kitla no dastavej banse. Okay, so means there is a difference between market value and whatever the agreement value is there, correct? So whatever the value mentioned in the agreement or dastavej, it is known as recorded purchase price or agreement value, okay, or documented value. And whatever the value, actual value on which transaction has been occurred, it is known as true value. We can say it is also known as market value, correct? જેટલામાં ફ્લેટ ખરીદાયો અથવા તો વેચાયો, actual value, correct? So this is known as intrinsic value or and true value. Now this is almost done. Okay, monopoly value. See, I'll give you the example. Monopoly value means certain property is having very specific features. Okay, that it is having I'll give you the example. Some hill station is there. In that, only 1 to 2 resorts are there. Resorts means those are having all the amenities like swimming pool and whatever the extra play activities are there, and that discotheque and all the facilities, amenities are there. Along with those 2 resorts are there. Others 15 to 20 hotels are normal hotels, means they are not having these facilities and amenities. See, now I'm going to stay at that hill station. Okay, whatever the 2 day 2 night 3 days package is, those resorts are offering to me, I am willing to pay it, because I want that amenities, I want that facilities to enjoy. Okay, so means some properties are having some kind of unique features, and due to that you are going to pay special value for that, and it is known as monopoly value. Means no substitutes are available, no options are available, you have to go. Correct? Because my son want to enjoy the swimming pool. Okay, so I don't want to stay in that particular ordinary hotels. Okay, so I am going to pay something more for that kind of enjoyment. So it is known as monopoly value. Mortgage value means you are giving some property, putting in for property to a bank for some amount of loan, correct, as a mortgage. Then it is known as mortgage value. Now, potential value. See, what do you mean by potential? We usually tell that anama more potential છે. Okay, this person is having so much of potential, means some capability. Okay, so what do you mean by potential value? Potential value means maximum value of that property we can achieve. Now I will again explain you with the example. That one commercial zone is there. Okay, and in that so much of commercial activity is going on. Before giving this example, I'll give you little idea. Whatever the commercial property is there, commercial property means whatever the shops, whatever the offices, those property fetches more value compared to the residential property. Okay, so usually it is a trend that value of commercial property is more compared to residential property. Now one commercial zone is there, in that commercial activities are going on, and one residential property is there. Okay, in located in central region of that commercial zone. Okay, so what is the value of that property? Because it is of residential use, its value will be less compared to the surrounding property. Now what I will do? Okay, I know as its location, it can fetch much value, so I will convert its use to the commercial use. Okay, so I had utilized its maximum potential. Okay, so it is known as potential use. Means if some property is having some inferior use, then we can change its use and we can take its maximum benefit so that we can arrive at some maximum value. Then it is known as potential value. Okay, then next. Okay, these 2 terms are very much important for you because it is there in the example also. One is salvage value and another is scrap value. What do you mean by salvage value? See, we know usually we are talking that lifespan of RCC building. આપણે જ્યારે RCC માં design કરીએ ત્યારે પણ we are putting it the life of the building say 60 years or 50 years. Okay, so what do you mean by salvage value? It is the estimated sale price of an old property whose service life is over. Useful life is over. We know useful life means what, for what building is designed. Building is designed for say 50 years, so its useful life we can say it is of 50 years. But though the building is very well maintained and still it is having some use. Okay, it is in the condition that it can be utilized. Okay, so whatever the life after whatever the value after its useful span is over, its useful life is over, and still the building in the condition to utilize further, then it that particular property's value is known as salvage value. Okay, means it is still in good condition to use after its 50 years has been over or its 60 years has been over, and then also it is in serviceable condition. So whatever the value after the useful life is over, then it is known as salvage value. Okay, now what do you mean by scrap value? Scrap value is different from the salvage value. It is also known as junk value. Now it may be before the service life or after the service life. It is not there like that. In salvage value definition, the very much important word is after the service life is over. Okay, but scrap value may be before its service life is over, after its service life is over, and due to that poor maintenance of the building is not in any condition to use. Okay, so whatever the demolition, after demolition, whatever the junk parts or whatever the parts that can be sold in the open market, that's value is known as scrap value. Correct? After demolition of the building, whatever the value of the junk parts or scrap parts, it is known as scrap value. It is considered at 10% of the present value of the building. Now, next definition is sentimental value. See, this is, I'll give you the example. I'm staying in some property which is built by my father. Okay, so some sentiments are attached with that. Okay, so I am having sentiments that my father had like worked for his entire life, and from his hard work he had produced this property. Okay, purchased this property, so I'm not going to sell it at any cost. Okay, but sometimes it may be happen that some crunches will be there and I have to sell. Then also I am sticking with that. No, I am not going it to sell it at this market value. મારા ફાધરે બહુ મહેનત કરી છે. ઓકે, સો 25 લાખ નહીં, મારે તો આની 30 લાખ વેલ્યુ તો જોઈએ. Okay, so some sentiment has been attached that my hard work is attached with this property. Okay, any kind of sentiment will be there, and I am not going to purchase sell it at whatever the prevailing market rate will be there. Okay, so it is known as sentimental value. Speculative value, I had given the example of the TP scheme. Correct, some speculation has been done, some forecasting has been done that here after introducing of that new TP scheme, the value of that property will be going to rise after short period of time. That is known as speculative value. Spatial value, I had given the example of spatial value, that some property near my workplace or some property near my son's school, so these are having some special reasons. Okay, due to that I am going to pay more compared to the prevailing market rate. Then statutory is not so much important. Stigma value, see, I'll give you the example of stigma value. We almost all of you, I can say, are residing near the Surat region. Okay, so in Surat region we can say Parle Point and Godod area, it is, we can say it is situated in the or we can say it is the heart of the city. Okay, so if you will Google out in the after this presentation, or you might be aware of this, that black color building of Parle Point, it is known as haunted building. Okay, so it is situated in the heart of the city, we can say. Whatever the surrounding properties are there, it is having rate of 4,000 to 5,000 square feet. Correct, whatever the surrounding residential buildings are there or commercial buildings are there, its price are 4,000 to 5,000 square feet per rupee. But no one is ready to stay in that black color building. Okay, it means at 0 rupees also no one is ready to stay there, because some stigma, some negative feelings has been attached that this building is haunted building. Okay, that during the construction of this building, so many few laborers have been died, and few voices of that laborers are coming at the night period, so no one is ready to pay in this building. So stigma is, like we can say, stigma is stigma is having very much negative effect, that the value of property may goes up to zero. Okay, you cannot stay, no one is ready to stay in that building at zero price even. Okay, I'll give you another example. Few months back I have been to Bhopal for delivering the lecture. So I have been to that particular region where Bhopal gas tragedy has been occurred, that Union Carbide industry explosion has been occurred. So I had a talk with the residents and valuers of that Bhopal, that what is the scenario nowadays for that particular region. So they told me, till date, that particular land patch or that particular area is having less value compared to the surrounding region. Okay, compared to the adjoining region even, because people might have stigma or disliking due to that particular incident, that groundwater is contaminated till date due to that poisonous gas. Okay, so this kind of beliefs are there in the people's mind, and they are not going to pay much more for that particular region. Another example I'll give you, that your property is near cremation ground or Kabristan, and due to that, that particular plot are going to have less value. Some burial ground is there. Okay, some dumping site. I'll give you the example. Dumping site adjoining your property or your land plot is adjoining to dumping solid waste dumping site. So there is a continuous foul smell issue will be there. Okay, as well as air pollution issue will be there. So particular due to that disliking, that value of property will be less. So these may be the so many reasons will be there due for this stigma value. So many, any kind of disliking for maybe there कि यहाँ पे कुछ मर्डर हो गया ये फ्लैट में, तो नहीं ये फ्लैट नहीं बिक रहा. Any kind of belief will be there, and due to that the property value may goes down, and it may be goes down up to zero. Now I'll give you next one is accommodation value. I'll give you the example of accommodation value. Okay, see here. Okay, see here I had drawn here one axis is there road. Okay, here this is a road. Okay, here this is one A plot, and here this is B plot. Okay, now if both owner are individual, owner of A is different and owner of B will be different. Okay, now see B have some value in case only if A will purchase it. Okay, otherwise due to unaccessibility, okay, due to lack of road, due to lack of connectivity, B is having no value. Okay, so B is having some value, in which case if A will accommodate it, or if some plot here will accommodate it, or some plot here will accommodate it, then and then its value will be there, and it is known as accommodation value. Correct? Due to unavailability of access, if some plot is not like accessible, and due to that its value will be zero or very much less. Its value will be there if some adjoining plot owner will accommodate along with it. Then it is known as accommodation value. Okay. Now next, insurance value. See, guideline value. Already we had discussed that in our Gujarat, Jantri has been not revised. Whatever the value according to Jantri, according to government guidelines, it is known as government guideline value. ઓકે સો જેના પર ડોક્યુમેન્ટેશન થતું હોય, જેના પર સ્ટેમ્પ ડ્યુટી પે કરતા હોય, that is known as government guideline value. Next one is insurance value. See, we know insurance value means whatever the value of the structure above the ground, okay, means superstructure value, whatever the foundation or substructure will be there, it is not insured. Okay, same way land is also not insured. Correct, land પર કોઈ દિવસ ઇન્સ્યોરન્સ નહીં મળે. So with whatever the construction above ground level, superstructure, it is known as insurable value. Now next one is realizable value. See, I give you the example. One is market value and another is realizable value. We can say market value, we had gone through the definition. What do you mean by realizable value? Again, you understand the meaning of realize, the value of the property, or the value of the property which can be realized in open market. Correct, means realized in open market means whatever the net value in the hand of owner. What do you mean by net value? See, suppose market value of the property, we can say it is 1 crore. Okay, now when you are buying or selling a property, okay, now I'll give you the example of buying. Okay, if I am buying the property, whatever the document charges will be there, I have to pay some stamp duty, I have to pay. Correct, any of the thing I have to pay, means I have to deduct that charges from that 1 crore rupees, and whatever the value I am arriving at, correct, it is known as realizable value. If I am selling my property, I am appointed some broker, ને આપ્યું છે કે broker ભાઈ તું આ વેચી દેજે ની, તો I have to pay something to that broker for that transaction. Okay, કોઈક વાર એવું થાય કે પેપરમાં પણ એડવર્ટાઇઝમેન્ટ આપતા હોય. Okay, so I have to pay something for that advertisement. So whatever the any other charges, ટ્રાન્ઝેક્શન માટે ચાર્જીસ લાગશે, દસ્તાવેજ માટે ચાર્જીસ લાગશે, એડવર્ટાઇઝમેન્ટ માટે ચાર્જીસ લાગશે, બ્રોકરને પે કરવા પડશે, that I have to deduct from the market value, and whatever the net amount in the hand of owner, it is known as realizable value. Okay, so whatever the other expenses are there, we have to deduct from the market value, and whatever the net amount will be there in the hand of owner, it is known as realizable value. Now next one is basic elements of value. See, when just a minute, hold on. નિમિષા મેડમ આ ફોન રિસીવ કરજો ને. મેડમ આ ફોન રિસીવ કરજો ને. When we are talking about the value, it is governed by total 4 factors. Okay, means what do you mean by 4 factors? One is marketability, second one is utility, third one is scarcity, and fourth one is transferability. Okay, now what do you mean by marketability? Marketability means how much easily you can sell the property in the market. Okay, that is known as marketability. Easily sell means easily liquidate. અરે મારે એડવર્ટાઇઝમેન્ટ બી મારી પ્રોપર્ટીના એવા ફીચર્સ છે કે મારે એડવર્ટાઇઝમેન્ટ કરવાની પણ જરૂરી નથી. મીન્સ property is having some special features, and due to that you can easily sell it in the open market. Then marketability, we can see it is very much good. Okay, when the marketability of that particular property is very much good, the value of that property will be high. Second one is utility. I'll give you the example of this utility. See, nowadays we know the chawl system has been obsolete. Chawl system means few houses are there and it is having common toilet and bathroom. Okay, then it is known as chawl system. So if this kind of property will be there, now utility of that kind of property is nowadays zero. Okay, so that kind of property is not easily sellable in the market. So for that kind of property, the value of the property will goes down. Correct. So second one is utility. Third one is scarcity. We know already we had discussed, if no substitute are available in the market, if no options are available in the market, correct, at that time it will become scarce, and due to that the value of property will goes up. Correct, no options are available, no substitutes are available, so the scarcity of that particular property will be there, and due to that the demand of property will be more. Right, supply will be less, demand will be more, and due to that value of that particular property will be more. Now next one is transferability. I'll give you, explain you with the example. There are two plots are there, okay, in same region, say plot A and say plot B. Okay, now A is having a single owner occupied, okay, and B is having 10 owners, okay. So if I have to choose, if I have to buy the property, મારી પાસે બંને પ્રોપર્ટી છે, બંને સેમ પ્રાઇઝે મળે છે, ઓકે, બરાબર છે, સેમ પ્રિવેલિંગ માર્કેટ રેટ છે, મારે ચૂઝ કરવું હોય કે મારે પ્રોપર્ટી ખરીદવી છે, વિચ આઈ વિલ સિલેક્ટ ડેફિનેટલી કે જેમાં સિંગલ ઓનર છે, એક જણની સાઇન લીધી, કામ પતી ગયું. મે બી ધ કેસ આ 10 ઓનર છે, એમાં એક જણ ના પડી દે કે મારે વેચવું નથી. Means transferability is not easy in the second property. So definitely the value of that property will goes down. Correct? So these are the 4 criteria which governs the value of the property. Okay. Now we know two types of properties, basic types of properties are there. One is movable one and another is immovable. Okay, whatever movable means you can move it from one place to another place. Cash, jewelry, furniture, machineries, whatever the personal belongings are there, it is considered as movable property. Immovable means anything land with or without construction. Okay, open land or land with construction, it is considered as immovable property. Okay, we the civil engineers always deal with immovable property, so we are known as valuers of immovable property. Okay, now see again, હમણાં સુધી આપણે બધી વાર્તા કરી, what we are discussing that value of the property, value of the property, value of the property. Okay, so here I am going to remove one misconception of your mind. We are not valuing the property. What we are valuing? We are valuing the rights attached to the property. Now, what do you mean by rights? Again, I'll explain you with the example. Two plots are there, plot A and plot B. In same region, both are selected. One is freehold. Freehold means I had occupied it and I had not given it on the rent. કોઈને રેન્ટ પર કે લીઝ પર નથી આપ્યો એ પ્લોટ. Okay, that is known as freehold. Okay, and second plot having same dimension and it is given on lease for say 30 years. Okay, 30 વર્ષ માટે લીઝ પર આપ્યો છે. Okay, so value of both property will be, just a minute, huh? Nimisha madam, phone લેજો ની. Value of both the property will be different. Why? See, if a plot is there, okay, and if I will buy that plot which is freehold, મારે કાલથી કન્સ્ટ્રક્શન શરૂ કરવું હોય ને તો હું કાલથી કરી શકું. Okay, because it is freehold, એના પર કોઈ જ problem નથી, because all rights are free. I can construct it or I can modify it or whatever, because it is not given on some rent or lease. Okay, B plot will be there. Okay, હું એને ખરીદી છું, 30 વર્ષ માટે લીઝ પર આપ્યો છે, I cannot alter it for the period of say 30 years. Means I cannot enjoy all rights attached to with that property. Okay, so both the property, if situated in same area, having same features, having all the amenities same, but one is freehold and another is leasehold, so the value of that leasehold property will goes down. Correct, because some rights are reserved. I am not able to enjoy all rights of the property. So basically it is not like that we are valuing property, but we are valuing rights attached to the property. Okay, how many rights we can enjoy with the property. Now again, this property can be divided in two parts: tangible things we can touch, and intangible things you cannot touch. Okay, now again, things we can touch means whatever land, building, jewelry, machineries, everything we can consider it in the tangible asset. Intangible asset, uh, some goodwill, GTU માં હમણાં ચાલે છે patents, some rights, correct? Anything will be there. It is known as some brand value. It is known as intangible asset. I'll give the example of intangible asset. Okay, a few months back, I have to purchase my son's sports shoes, and we went to a mall. Okay, so we are having two options. One is Adidas and another is Bata. Okay, both the products are going to serve me same purpose. One is, we can say, chalo, action is also a sport shoes, and Adidas is also going to give me the same, कि दौड़ने के लिए काम आएगा, खेलने के लिए काम आएगा, right? But some brand value is attached to the Adidas, correct? Those action shoes are hardly 1,000 to 1,500 rupees, and Adidas is 4,000 to 5,000 rupees. Okay, we had purchased that Adidas shoes because it is having some brand. Okay, it is having some goodwill, and it is known as intangible asset. Okay, some goodwill, some brand, and due to that we are going to pay much more compared to whatever prevailing in the market. Okay, now see, before starting to the lecture, already I had explained you that up to now we are having in our mind that this property means area multiplied by the rate, means we had arrived at some value of the property. So that is again misconception. Okay, whenever it comes to you that you have to value the property, you have to categorize the property in which category it is. Okay, categorize means there are total three types of category. One is income fetching marketable property. I'll explain word of meaning of each word. Second one is non-income fetching but marketable property, and third one is non-income fetching non-marketable property. Again, I will break it into the part. First one is income fetching marketable property. Income fetching means those property which are generating income, correct? Which is able to generate income. Income fetching, which kind of income? It may be in terms of rent, it may be in terms of income. See, hotels are generating some business, cinemas are, petrol pumps are generating every month some income. So all these properties are there which can generate some income. Rented properties, correct? Rented property means rented shop, rented flat, any kind of property which is given on the rented factory, it is known as rented property, correct? Means every month they are going to give you some income. Okay, then it is known as income fetching. And second one is marketable, means you can sell it or buy it in open market, correct? Marketable property, if some shop is there, you can sell it or buy it. Okay, so income fetching on marketable property. So whatever the rented property, hotels, cinemas, malls, petrol pumps, it comes under this category. Second one is non-income fetching but marketable property. Non-income fetching means, I'll give you the example, owner occupied property which is occupied by ourselves, correct? Whatever the bungalows, whatever the flat, I am staying in my bungalow. Okay, I am not going to pay rent to me myself. Okay, I am utilizing my flat, I am utilizing shop for my office purpose, or I am utilizing my factory. Okay, means those things are not going to pay me every month rent. Okay, so whatever the owner occupied occupied properties are there, it is not going to earn any income, but it is marketable one. Second one is marketable property. If I want to sell my bungalow, if I want to sell my flat, okay, I can sell it in open market. Correct? So second category is non-income fetching but marketable property. And third one is those property which are non-income fetching, means those for those property which are not going to earn anything for me. And non-marketable one means I cannot buy it or sell it in open market. Which kind of property? कभी सुना है कि टेम्पल खरीदा, चर्च खरीदा? Okay, whatever the government buildings are there, okay, whatever the public museum, fire station, whatever the public buildings are there, उसका transaction नहीं होता, वो कोई खरीदता नहीं है. Correct? It cannot be sell it and buy it in the open market. Correct? Whatever the government school, whatever the government colleges are there, okay, those are known as non-income fetching. They are not generating any income and even not marketable one. Okay, so you have to categorize it in which kind of category your property falls, and according to you that you have to select the approach to valuation. Okay, so which kind of approach? See, basically three approaches are there. One is income approach, second one is marketable approach, and third one is costing approach. Now, which kind of property you will evaluate by income approach? Those property who are going to earn money for you. Okay, means rented property, rented properties, then cinemas, then petrol pumps, hotels. Those are generating monthly, annually income for you. So you have to evaluate it by income approach. Okay. Now, second one is market approach. Those property which are not going to earn any income for you, but they can marketable. You can sell it or buy it in the open market. Means whatever the owner occupied bungalow, owner occupied flat, owner occupied shops, anything that is marketable one, so it is valued by market approach. And third one is which are non-income generating and non-marketable, that you have to you have to value using cost approach. Means cost approach, it is also known as land and building method. Land and building means whatever the area of land on which your property will be there, plus whatever the construction, plus addition of both the cost of land and cost of construction will give you the value of that particular property. If temple, you have to evaluate the temple property, so you have to measure in how much kilometer or how much acre the temple will be there, that particular value of that land plus how much construction is there, the cost of that construction, land plus construction, land plus building will give you that particular value of the property. So you have to categorize which kind of property is there, and based on that you have to select. Okay, now see, for income approach and cost approach, there is a calculation based method. So today in our presentation, I will explain you about market approach and how it is work. Okay, so market approach means okay. Okay, so in market approach, see, market approach means this is the very easy and you can say very usual practice. Okay, when some property comes to me for the valuation, that for particular flat, I have to give the value. Okay, so what I will do, first I will identify in which area it is. Okay, then what will be the second step? I'll find out for the comparable, for the instances કે હા ભાઈ આ એરિયામાં કઈ few months back કોઈ transaction થયું છે similar kind of property નું, flat હોય તો કોઈ flat ની લે વેચ થઈ છે. Okay, I'll ask to the broker or through આપણા હમણાં તો 99 acres and magic bricks પર પણ થોડું આવતું હોય કે હમણાં માર્કેટમાં આ રેટ ચાલે છે. ઓકે, સો એના પરથી મને ખબર પડે કે હા આ ટ્રાન્ઝેક્શન થયા છે. બરાબર. આ નજીકમાં 2-3 કિલોમીટરમાં આવો જ 2 BHK ફ્લેટ વેચાયો છે. ઓકે, સેમ કાઇન્ડ ઓફ like flat has been purchased. So what is the market approach? કે based on that data I am applying some rate to the property. એટલે એના માટે શું કરવું પડે? માર્કેટ સર્વે, હાઉ મચ ટ્રાન્ઝેક્શન હેઝ બીન અકર્ડ. આપણે જનરલી સી વેન વી આર ગોઈંગ ટુ પરચેસ સમથિંગ, તો આપણે બ્રોકરને પૂછતા હોઈએ કે અહીંયા કેટલો રેટ ચાલે છે. હવે એવું તો નથી ને કે બ્રોકરે આજે પાંચ કહેવાનું મન થઈ ગયું તો 5,000 કહી દીધા, કાલે 10,000 કહેવાનું મન થઈ ગયું તો 10,000 કહી. he based on some transaction એ કહે કે હા ભાઈ હમણાં અહીંયા બાજુના બિલ્ડિંગમાં છે ને ત્યાં 5,000 વેચાયો છે. means he is having some comparable. Okay, and based on that we are arriving at some market value. So basically market approach works on the principle of comparison એન્ડ સબસ્ટિટ્યુશન. કે હા તમને એવો કોઈ મળી રહી છે ફ્લેટ નજીકમાં અને એની સાથે તમે કમ્પેરિઝન કરો છો. ના એવું પણ નથી કે હા તમને એવું કહી દીધું કે હા અહીંયા 2 કોમ્પ્લેક્સ છોડીને એક 2 BHK વેચાયો છે, એને એનો રેટ ચાલે છે 4,000 સ્ક્વેર ફીટ પર રૂપીઝ. સો ડાયરેક્ટલી વિધાઉટ સીઈંગ, વિધાઉટ ઓબ્ઝર્વિંગ એનીથિંગ મેં મારા ફ્લેટને પણ એ જ આપી દીધો. મીન્સ યુ આર રોંગ. મે બી ધી કેસ so many criterias are there in which that property and your subject property may differ. So many criterias are like that it may be low rise, your property may be high rise. Second, that particular low rise property is not having any amenities, and your property is having so many amenities like gym and jacuzzi, garden, swimming pool, at some temple inside within your premises. Okay, so you cannot compare those. Means you have to apply some weightages. Okay, કે હા આ પ્રોપર્ટી કરતા આ પ્રોપર્ટીમાં some positive benefits are there. Okay, આ પ્રોપર્ટી કરતા આ પ્રોપર્ટીમાં some negative benefits are there. So you have to study your subject property and whatever the comparables available with you in the market, and according to you, according to that you have to give some weightages. Weightages may be positive or negative, that you have to select. Okay, so based on that, after applying all weightages, you can arrive at some conclusive rate, some conclusion. Correct? So that is known as like market approach. It is not like that you can select directly. So here few attributes are mentioned કે કઈ ટાઈપના weightages આપવાના, એવું જરૂરી નથી. See, here it is mentioned that here it is for land comparison. Correct? કે જ્યારે ફ્લેટમાં તો તમને બહુ ઈઝી થઈ જાય. ઓકે, કે હા આમાં વધારે એમ્યુનિટીઝ છે, આમાં ઓછું છે, આ જૂનો ફ્લેટ લાગે છે, આમાં રિપેરિંગ વધારે છે. So to compare a building, it is very much easy. But when it is to compare an open plot, at that time what you have to observe? So few criteria I had mentioned, and after this I will explain you one case study which I had done already in the applied for the field કે કેવી રીતે આ weightages આપવાના હોય. So here when it is open plot, open land, and at that time which kind of weightages you can give? So here it is maintained subject property attribute double frontage. તમારી જે પ્રોપર્ટી છે પોતાની કે જેની વેલ્યુ કરવાની છે, ઇટ ઇઝ હેવિંગ ડબલ ફ્રન્ટેજ, અને તમને જે કમ્પેરેબલ મળે છે, જે ટ્રાન્ઝેક્શન મળે છે, ઇટ ઇઝ હેવિંગ સિંગલ ફ્રન્ટેજ. મીન્સ તમારી પ્રોપર્ટીના વધારે બેનિફિટ છે. વોટ ડુ મીન બાય ડબલ ફ્રન્ટેજ? અગેન આઈ વિલ એક્સપ્લેન યુ. Say here A is your plot. Here we can say here this is a front side, this is the rear side. Both the sides roads are available. Means two sides frontages are available. Second property is તમને જેનું comparable મળે છે. This is a property. Okay, એક જ સાઈડ રોડ અવેલેબલ છે. ઓકે, So usually double side frontage હોય means two side accessibility હોય, બે બાજુ તમે if commercial property હોય તો બે બાજુ advertisement કરી શકો. So double frontage, even cross ventilation, light and ventilation તમને double frontage હોય તો વધારે મળે. Means double frontage property is having more benefit compared to single frontage property. So it is weightage is how you will give some plus 15 to 20% more value compared to whatever the comparable available with you. Second one is large size plot and small size plot. See, usually large size plot hoy ne. Yes, just a minute.
આઈડી આપેલું તો રોંગ છે કંઈ. તમે જે આઈડી આપેલું તે
જીમેલ અમને કે નંબર લખી આપ્યો છે ને એના પર ફોન કરે પેપરમાં. Sorry. Now two types of plots are there. One is large size plot and small one. Another is a small size of plot. Okay. હવે again I will give you with the example. એક પ્લોટ છે ને તે 10,000 સ્ક્વેર મીટરનો છે, લાર્જ સાઇઝ, વેરી લાર્જ સાઇઝ. અને બીજો પ્લોટ છે ને તે ખાલી 1000 સ્ક્વેર મીટરનો છે. ઓકે, તો 10,000 સ્ક્વેર મીટરનો પ્લોટ છે એની વેલ્યુ વી કેન સે 10 કરોડ રૂપીસ. ઓકે, અને સ્મોલ સાઇઝ પ્લોટ છે તેની વેલ્યુ છે વી કેન સે 50 લાખ રૂપીસ. તો મને બાયર્સ કોના વધારે મળશે? ડેફિનેટલી જે સ્મોલ સાઇઝ પ્લોટ છે એના માટે મને કદાચ 5 જણ લેવા વાળા મળી જાય, પણ જે 10 કરોડ છે એના માટે મને હાર્ડલી એકાદ કે 2 જણ મળે, કારણ કે લોકોની બાઇંગ કેપેસિટી એટલે નહીં હોય. 10 કરોડ કોઈ ઇઝીલી નહીં ખર્ચી શકે. તો ઓલવેઝ જ્યારે વી આર ટોકિંગ અબાઉટ યુનિટ રેટ અથવા તો પર વારનો ભાવ કે આપણે કહીએ વીંગાનો ભાવ કે પર સ્ક્વેર મીટર રેટ, તો જ્યારે લાર્જ સાઇઝ પ્લોટ હોય ને ત્યારે મારે ત્યાં થોડું ડિસ્કાઉન્ટ આપવું જ પડે, બીકોઝ ત્યાં નંબર ઓફ બાયર ઓછા હોય. એટલે જો હું સ્મોલ સાઇઝ પ્લોટમાં એવું કહું કે 1.5 લાખ રૂપિયા વારનો ભાવ ચાલે છે, તો લાર્જ સાઇઝ પ્લોટમાં મારે 1 અથવા તો 1.25 લાખમાં વેચવું પડે તો જ એના બાયર્સ મને મળી રહે, અધરવાઇઝ બાયર નહીં મળે. એટલે ઓલવેઝ લાર્જ સાઇઝ પ્લોટ હોય એની સેલેબિલિટી માર્કેટમાં કેવી હોય? ઓછી હોય, એ ઇઝીલી સેલ નહીં થતો હોય. એટલે એને ઓલવેઝ મારે શું આપવાનું હોય? નેગેટિવ વેટેજ આપવાનું હોય કમ્પેર ટુ સ્મોલ સાઇઝ પ્લોટ. ટાઈમ ફેક્ટર, હા, ધીસ ઇઝ ગુડ. સી યુઝ્યુઅલી આપણે શું કહેતા હોઈએ કે ટાઈમ ફેક્ટર કે હમણાં કોવિડને ભૂલી જાઓ, ડિમોનિટાઇઝેશનને ભૂલી જાઓ. યુઝ્યુઅલી પ્રોપર્ટી વેલ્યુનો ટ્રેન્ડ કેવો હોય કે આપણે એવું જ વિચારતા હોય કે એવરી યર 5% કે 10% એની વેલ્યુ કેવી થશે? વધશે. ઓકે, એટલે મને જો જૂનો કમ્પેરેબલ મળ્યો હોય કે 2 વર્ષ જૂનો છે અને આજની તારીખમાં મારે એને યુઝ કરવું હોય ફોર કમ્પેરિંગ માય પ્રોપર્ટી, કરેક્ટ, તો મારે 2 વર્ષ માટે શું આપવું પડે? એપ્રિશિએશન આપવું પડે કે નહીં, પહેલા મને 1,000 રૂપિયા પર સ્ક્વેર ફીટ 2 વર્ષ પહેલા વેચાયેલો હતો, તો હમણાં તો 1,500 ભાવ આવે છે, કરેક્ટ. સો ધેટ ઇઝ એપ્રિશિએશન, કરેક્ટ. એટલે તમારે એ પણ ટાઈમ ફેક્ટરનું પણ આપવું પડે કે 2 વર્ષ પહેલાનું કમ્પેરેબલ હોય અને હમણાં જો સબ્જેક્ટ પ્રોપર્ટી સાથે કોરિલેટ કરવાનું હોય તો દર વર્ષે કંઈ ને કંઈક ભાવ વધતો હોય તો આ પ્રોપર્ટીનો હમણાં ભાવ 20% વધી ગયો હશે, રાઈટ. નેક્સ્ટ વન ઇઝ વેર ઇટ ઇઝ સિચ્યુએટેડ. વી નો મેઇન રોડ પ્રોપર્ટી હોય અને અનધર ઇઝ by land property or it is situated on interior road, so definitely main road property will fetch more value, so it is having plus 15 to plus 30% weightage. Sorry, next one is I had given already the example plot without access road, જેની accessibility જ નથી. ઓકે, અને plot having road, તો definitely having road હોય એની value વધારે હોય and that value may fall down up to minus 72. Next one is joint ownership and single ownership. Joint ownership hoy to it is tough to sell, so I have to give negative weightage. Low lying land hoy with undulation and level ground hoy to undulation ne filling કરવા માટે જે cost લાગે that I have to deduct. Okay. Second, this is latest nowadays, sea front face, river front plot, એવું કશું પણ હોય, means it is having some more value compared to the normal plot. So for that I have to give positive weightage. Some pending litigation means some court case is going on, કંઈક કોર્ટ કેસ ચાલે છે, કરેક્ટ. સો એ પ્રોપર્ટીની વેલ્યુ કેવી થશે? ડાઉન થશે, સો નેગેટિવ વેટેજ. Okay, so this kind of adjustment we This kind of adjustment we can give. Now I'll give you with the actual case study. This is visible to you? Any single one can answer me?
No, it's blank screen.
Blank screen.
I think started another PPT. Is it so?
Is it? It is. I had to share with them a case study, actual case study of this comparison.
Then you just proceed in the same way which we
So I
did
have
in the beginning. Yeah.
I have to stop sharing, no?
First you stop sharing. Your video is on?
Yeah.
Fine. Now you share it.
Okay.
Yes, it's now. We are able to see the folder. Now you just.
Okay, this one green color, like one factory shade is visible to you?
No,
The
ma'am,
file-
it is not visible.
Okay, just a minute. Just a minute. Give me a moment.
There are 2-3 videos. If you are sharing a video, then there may be 2-3 videos. So select the appropriate one.
Now,
ते मावशीना दसरा पडायचा का शेणाचा
Now-
शेणाने दसरा बनवता ना रावण बनतात होतं रावण बनतो ना तो शेणाचा.
excuse me.
Yeah, now it is visible.
Now
Visible
it is
is fine.
visible, ma'am.
Fine, fine.
The only thing required is to you just increase the percentage.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Now,
Yes,
see,
it is visible.
Even it is an option, I think, available in the Word also to keep it on, full screen mode, probably.
okay,
It
but
is.
now
Yeah,
it
it
is.
is. Your file is visible.
Okay, now see, I had a case of one arbitration case was there. So see, when we are working for arbitration work or any court case, so we have to very specific about facts and figures. Okay, at that time I have to value one industrial open plot. Okay, so now again it is an open land. So to compare the criteria and to give the adjustment, it was a very tough task. It is the property was situated in MIDC. MIDC. Now I was having two comparables. મને એના માટે recent ના કે few months back ના બે comparable મળેલા હતા. અહીંયા હું મેં એની detail લખી છે. Comparable 1 is having 55 acres land. Comparable 2 is having 45 acres land. બંનેના રેટ મળ્યા કે કમ્પેરેબલ 1 જે છે એક પ્રોપર્ટી 2200 રૂપિયા પર 2200 પર સ્ક્વેર મીટર પર ટ્રાન્ઝેક્શન થયેલું હતું. સેકન્ડ પ્રોપર્ટીનું 2000 રૂપીસ પર સ્ક્વેર મીટર પર ટ્રાન્ઝેક્શન થયેલું હતું. લોકેશન એક જે આપણી સબ્જેક્ટ પ્રોપર્ટી છે એનાથી 7 to 8 કિલોમીટર ફાર હતું અને બીજું જે છે તે 8 to 9. હિયર આઈ હેડ shown in my map E1 that here it is a subject property, here comparable 1 and here comparable 2. Okay, so this kind of situation is there and now I have to apply the weightages. Okay, so here we had see weightages again, it is not fixed on your experience, on your observation skill, based on your observation power you have to apply the weightages. So here I had applied the weightages. I am reading you and explaining you. Here first one is frontage. So here I had written the explanation. The subject property is having large frontage as internal road runs along. એટલે આપણી જે સબ્જેક્ટ પ્રોપર્ટી જેનું આપણે વેલ્યુએશન કરવાનું છે એની પાસે ફ્રન્ટેજ કેવું હતું? લાર્જ ફ્રન્ટેજ, કારણ કે એની એક સાઈડ પરથી રોડ પાસ થતો હતો. ઓકે, મીન્સ મને જે કમ્પેરેબલ મળ્યા છે જૂના તેના કરતા એમાં કેવો બેનિફિટ મને દેખાયો કારણ કે એનું ફ્રન્ટેજ વધારે છે. સો આઈ હેડ ગિવન ધી એડજસ્ટમેન્ટ ઓફ +7.5%. હવે બીજું કમ્પેરેબલ અગેન બીજામાં પણ એવું જ છે, સેમ એક્સપ્લેનેશન મેં અહીંયા લખ્યું છે કે વધારે ફ્રન્ટેજ છે કમ્પેર ટુ સેકન્ડ કમ્પેરેબલ, તો હિયર +7.5%. નાઉ સેકન્ડ વન, ટાઈમ ફેક્ટર. ટાઈમ ફેક્ટર એટલે કેટલું જૂનું ટ્રાન્ઝેક્શન છે. સો ધ યુનિટ રેટ પર સ્ક્વેર મીટર અવેલેબલ ફોર કમ્પેરેબલ વન ઇઝ લેટેસ્ટ. એટલે હમણાં એકાદ 2 મહિનાનું જ મળ્યું છે ટ્રાન્ઝેક્શન કે હા એકાદ 2 મહિના પહેલા જ પેલી પ્રોપર્ટી 1 વેચાયેલી હતી, તો એને માટે મેં એડજસ્ટમેન્ટ શું આપ્યું? 0. હા, વર્ષો જૂનું હતું, 1 વર્ષ જૂનું કે 2 વર્ષ જૂનું, તો મારે અહીંયા 5 કે 10%, 10 to 20% એપ્રિસિએશન પ્લસ આપવું પડશે. ઓકે, અહીંયા શું છે? ધ યુનિટ રેટ પર સ્ક્વેર મીટર ફોર કમ્પેરેબલ ટુ ઇઝ ઓલ્સો લેટેસ્ટ. બીજું પણ મને લેટેસ્ટ જ મળ્યું છે, તો એડજસ્ટમેન્ટ ફોર ધેટ ઇઝ 0%. નાઉ સાઇઝ. Now see, this is very much important. The subject property is of smaller size. નાની સાઇઝની છે સબ્જેક્ટ પ્રોપર્ટી, મીન્સ એને હું ઇઝીલી માર્કેટમાં વેચી શકું કારણ કે મને બાયર્સ બહુ બધા મળી જશે. તો એના માટે મેં એડજસ્ટમેન્ટ મીન્સ ઇટ ઇઝ હેવિંગ પોઝિટિવ પોઈન્ટ કમ્પેર્ડ ટુ કમ્પેરેબલ વન, એટલે મેં એને +2.5% આપ્યું. હવે કમ્પેરેબલ 2 માં શું છે? કમ્પેરેબલ 2 અને આપણી સબ્જેક્ટ પ્રોપર્ટી બંને લગભગ સેમ સાઇઝની જ છે, તો મને એમાં કોઈ એડજસ્ટમેન્ટ આપવાનું પ્રોપર નહીં. Okay. Now location. The comparable one and subject property બંને જે મને comparable મળ્યા છે, જૂના ટ્રાન્ઝેક્શન મળ્યા છે, બંને MIDC માં જ સિચ્યુએટેડ છે. ઓકે, મહારાષ્ટ્ર ઇન્ડસ્ટ્રીયલ like the property was situated in Nagpur. Okay, તો both the comparables are in MIDC area only. આપણે અહીંયા જેવી રીતે GIDC છે ત્યાં MIDC હોય, કરેક્ટ? તો બંનેનું લોકેશન ઓલવેઝ સેમ છે. ઓકે, સો એના માટે મેં કેવું આપ્યું? 0% adjustment. Now excess. Okay, so this is also very much important. Here I am reading the subject property is having better access as it is partly connected to National Highway 44 and it is having access throughout the plot by internal road. એને બે બેનિફિટ છે. એક એ છે ને નેશનલ હાઈવે ની એકદમ નજીક છે, એનું એકદમ નજીકમાં કનેક્શન છે, પાર્ટલી કનેક્ટેડ. એક પાર્ટ એવો છે કે જ્યાં તમને ડાયરેક્ટ નેશનલ હાઈવે નું કનેક્શન મળે છે, અને બીજું એની લોંગેસ્ટ સાઇડ પર ઇન્ટરનલ રોડ રન કરે છે, મીન્સ ઇટ ઇઝ હેવિંગ ગુડ એક્સેસિબિલિટી. ઓકે, એને નેશનલ હાઈવે નું કનેક્શન અથવા તો આવું રોડ નું કનેક્શન નથી મળતું, એટલે મીન્સ I had given the positive +2.5. શેપ. સી, હવે આપણી જે સબ્જેક્ટ પ્રોપર્ટી છે, સોરી, it is having very irregular shape. See, જ્યારે irregular shape હોય, ખાંચા ખૂચી વાળી જગ્યા હોય, નોચિસ વાળી જગ્યા હોય, at that time the wastage of land will be more. કરેક્ટ? અને irregular shape હોય એનું ડેવલપમેન્ટ કરવા માટે પણ it is tough. ઓકે, સો જ્યારે irregular shape હોય અને એની કમ્પેરિઝનમાં જો રેગ્યુલર શેપ વાળી પ્રોપર્ટી હોય તો ડેફિનેટલી the irregular shape will have negative weightage. So here I had given the -7.5% discount. Here I had given the -7.5%. Forced sale by authority means એ કોઈ NPA અથવા તો એને બેંકે કંઈક ફરજામાં લીધું હોય અને બેંકે કોઈક લાઈક ઓપ્શન સેલ કર્યું હોય એવું હતું કમ્પેરેબલ? નો, ઇટ ઇઝ નોર્મલ સેલ. સો એને માટે મારે કોઈ એડજસ્ટમેન્ટ આપવાની જરૂર નથી. Neighborhood. See, this is very much important. Neighborhood means who is in your neighbor, who is staying at your adjacent, exactly adjoining property. તો આપણી જે સબ્જેક્ટ પ્રોપર્ટી છે ને આમાં લખ્યું છે the location of comparable one, જે comparable one હતું, જૂનું ટ્રાન્ઝેક્શન જે મળ્યું છે, it is having better in this context as it is situated adjoining to Reliance power plant. મને જે comparable મળ્યું છે એ રિલાયન્સ પાવર પ્લાન્ટની બાજુમાં સિચ્યુએટેડ છે, મીન્સ એનું નેબરહુડ ગુડ છે, તો મને ડેફિનેટલી ત્યાં રોડ ડેવલપમેન્ટ ને બધી ફેસિલિટીઝ મળશે, એ સારી મળશે કમ્પેર ટુ માય સબ્જેક્ટ પ્રોપર્ટી. આપણે એનું જે વેલ્યુએશન કરવાનું છે તેની આજુબાજુમાં કશું પણ નથી. ઓકે, આની આજુબાજુમાં રિલાયન્સ પાવર પ્લાન્ટ છે, મીન્સ અથવા તો રિલાયન્સ પાવર પ્લાન્ટ જ્યારે પણ એક્સપાન્શન કરશે તો પહેલા આને ખરીદશે. ઓકે, મીન્સ આપણી જે સબ્જેક્ટ પ્રોપર્ટી છે એની આજુબાજુમાં આપણને કોઈ બેનિફિટ નથી દેખાતા કમ્પેર ટુ કમ્પેરેબલ વન, મીન્સ ઇટ ઇઝ હેવિંગ નેગેટિવ વેઇટેજ. કરેક્ટ? જે કમ્પેરેબલ 1 અને 2 મળ્યા છે એ બંને એવી જગ્યાએ સિચ્યુએટેડ છે રિલાયન્સ પાવર પ્લાન્ટની આજુબાજુમાં, મીન્સ એક્સપાન્શનના ટાઈમે એને કોઈ સારી પ્રાઇસ આપીને ખરીદી લે. કરેક્ટ? સો મીન્સ ઇટ ઇઝ નેબરહુડ ઇઝ ગુડ, એટલે એની ડેફિનેટલી વેલ્યુ વધારે હોય અને આપણી સબ્જેક્ટ પ્રોપર્ટીની વેલ્યુ ઓછી હશે, -10%. હવે શું કર્યું, મને આટલામાંના ઓબ્ઝર્વેશન્સ કરતા મને લાગ્યું કે ધીઝ આર ધી પોઈન્ટ વિચ આઈ હેવ ટુ કવર ઇન માય ઓબ્ઝર્વેશન. હવે હિયર એડજસ્ટમેન્ટ ફોર કમ્પેરેબલ વન ટોટલ કરી નાખ્યું. હાઉ મચ ઓવરઓલ -5% I have to give. Adjustment for comparable 2, I had arrived at here -7.5% I have to give. Okay. Now what are the actual rate for comparable 1? મને જે ટ્રાન્ઝેક્શન મળેલું તો આ 2200 માં મારે કેટલું આપવાનું છે? Here -5% means 2200 -5% means 2090 rupees per square meter for comparable 1. For comparable 2 કેટલા રેટ મળેલા હતા? 2000 rupees. So 2000 -7.5% means 1850 per square meter. Now what rate I have to add up for my patch of land? Average of this comparable 1 and this comparable 2 means 2090 plus 1850 divide by 2 means the unit rate for my patch of land for my subject property I have arrived at is rupees 1970 per square meter. Correct? And this rate I had adapted for my valuation purpose. So how these comparables for market approach have been adapted means it depends on you how you will study the property, what you are finding at it as a positive point, what you are considering it as a negative point, and you have arrived at some value which is justifiable, acceptable by all. Okay, so this was the case study of this market approach. Now almost all I covered whatever I can within this limited time span. Now if any queries you can ask.
Hello, ma'am.
Ma'am,
can you please explain leasehold and freehold quite deeply? Because last time also when you came for Viva, you asked about that and we were not able to answer you according to your compatibility.
See, I'll explain you. So you are the same batch?
Yes, ma'am, actually.
Actually, I'll give you I explain you what do you mean by freehold. See, usually આપણે જે GIDC ની property હોય, okay, it may be given on some lease basis. Okay, lease એટલે એવું નથી કે lease, it is kind of you can say rent type of only. અરે બે પ્લોટ છે, એક જે છે તે મારી પાસે છે, બરાબર છે, એના પર એવું લખ્યું છે નેમ, દસ્તાવેજ કર્યો છે મારા નામ પર. ઓકે, હવે મેં બે પ્લોટ ખરીદેલા હતા, વન ઇઝ પ્લોટ A and another is plot B. ઓકે, એક પ્લોટ જે છે બંનેના દસ્તાવેજ હમણાં રાઈટ નાવ મારા નામ પર છે. હવે મને એવું લાગે છે કે હું એ પ્લોટ મારે પોતાના માટે વાપરીશ, પણ અહીંયા એવું પોટેન્શિયલ છે કે મારે બી પ્લોટ કોઈક લેવા વાળું આવે છે તો મારે એને શોર્ટ પીરિયડ માટે કેવી રીતે રેન્ટ પર, રેન્ટ ઇઝ નોટ પ્રોપર વર્ડ બટ આઈ કેન સે કે લીઝ પર આપું છું. લીઝ મીન્સ શોર્ટ ટાઈમ માટે. એ લીઝ ડીડમાં મેન્શન કરેલું હોય કે 10 years કે 15 years કે 30 years માટે તમે એને કોઈકને યુટિલાઇઝ કરવા માટે આપો છો, કરેક્ટ, ફોર એની કાઇન્ડ ઓફ પર્પસ. તો એને માટે જે બન્યું હોય ડીડમાં એના બધા પોઈન્ટ્સ લખ્યા હોય કે જ્યારે તમે આવી રીતે કોઈને યુટિલાઇઝ કરવા આપો છો તો અંદર બધું મેન્શન કરેલું હોય કે ટેક્સીસ કોણ આપશે, વોટર ચાર્જીસ છે તે કોણ આપશે, ઇલેક્ટ્રિસિટી બિલ્સ છે તે કોણ આપશે, મીન્સ ઓલ ધ ટર્મ્સ એન્ડ કન્ડિશન્સ હેવ બીન મેન્શન ઇન ધી લીઝ. ઓલ ધ સપોઝ 10 years માટે આપ્યું હોય ને તો અંદર 10 વર્ષનું ભાડું મેન્શન કરેલું હોય કે ઇનિશિયલ તમે જ્યારે એને ખરીદો છો તો તમારે આટલું ઇનિશિયલ પેલું ટોકન કહેવાય ને તો પ્રીમિયમ મની આટલું આપવું પડે. પછી ત્યાર પછી એ પણ મેન્શન કર્યું હોય કે સપોઝ 5 લાખ રૂપિયા એઝ અ ટોકન આપ્યા છે, ધેટ ઇઝ મેન્શન ઇન ધી લીઝ ડીડ. નાઉ પહેલા વર્ષે લીઝ આટલી છે, પછી સેકન્ડ વર્ષે 5% રાઇઝ થશે, થર્ડ વર્ષે 10% રાઇઝ થશે. તો એવરી યરની લીઝનું અમાઉન્ટ પણ અંદર મેન્શન કરેલું હોય. મીન્સ તમે 10 વર્ષ માટે બંધાઈ ગયા છો કે 10 વર્ષ માટે તમે આને લીઝ પર આપી દીધું છે. હવે કાલે ઉઠીને હું કોઈ ફાઇનાન્શિયલ ક્રન્ચીસમાં હું તો એ મારો જે એ પ્લોટ છે તે હું ઇઝીલી વેચી શકું છું, બરાબર છે. પણ બી પ્લોટ મેં ઓલરેડી લીઝ પર આપ્યો છે. ઓકે, મીન્સ મારે જે લીઝી છે, લાઈક આઈ એમ અ લેઝર, તો મારે અંદરથી લીઝીના જે લાઈક ઓલરેડી જેને આપ્યું છે તેને કન્ટિન્યુ રાખવું પડશે. એટલે બીજો પ્લોટ જે છે તે ખરીદવા વાળા મને ઓછા મળી જશે. મારે તમારે ખરીદવો છે પ્લોટ, તમારે 2 પ્લોટ ખરીદવા છે, બરાબર. તમારે તમારી ઇન્ડસ્ટ્રીનું ડેવલપમેન્ટ કરવું છે. ઓકે, કાલથી તમારે કન્સ્ટ્રક્શન ચાલુ કરવું છે, તો તમે કોને સિલેક્ટ કરશો? હા કે ભાઈ આ લીઝ પર છે ને હું શું કામ લઉં? બીકોઝ એને કોવેનન્ટ છે કે 10 વર્ષ સુધી એ પ્રોપર્ટી બ્લોક થઈ ગઈ છે. ઓકે, મીન્સ સમ ડિસ્કાઉન્ટ આઈ હેવ ટુ ગીવ. ઓકે, એટલે ઓલવેઝ એવું હોય કે જે ફ્રી હોલ્ડ પ્રોપર્ટી હોય ને લીઝ હોલ્ડ પ્રોપર્ટી હોય, લીઝ હોલ્ડ પ્રોપર્ટી ઇઝ નોટ હેવિંગ ફૂલ રાઇટ્સ ઓફ એન્જોયમેન્ટ. 10 વર્ષ સુધી મારી એ પ્રોપર્ટી બ્લોક થઈ ગઈ છે. ઓકે, સો મીન્સ આઈ હેવ ટુ ગીવ સમ ડિસ્કાઉન્ટ. હું એને વેચી તો શકું છું, બરાબર, પણ વેચવા માટે જ્યારે હું એને બહાર કાઢું, માર્કેટમાં મૂકું છું, તો મને ખરીદાર કેવા મળશે? ઓછા, કે જેને હમણાં પૈસાની જરૂર નહીં હોય, લીઝ કન્ટિન્યુ રાખવા માંગતા હોય એટલા જ મળશે. કરેક્ટ? જે ડેવલપમેન્ટ કરવા માંગે છે એટલા મને નહીં મળશે. મીન્સ buyers will be less. Correct? So always when it is a leasehold property, at that time you have to apply discount based on the whatever the condition mentioned in the deed. ડીડમાં મેન્શન કરેલું હોય કે આ એના લિમિટેશન છે, અને તમે ઘણીવાર એવું બી મેન્શન કરેલું હોય કે તમે આ ટાઈપનું ડેવલપમેન્ટ નહીં કરી શકો, બરાબર. ખાલી ઇન્ડસ્ટ્રીયલ એક્ટિવિટી જ કરી શકો, કમર્શિયલ નહીં કરી શકો. ઇન્ડસ્ટ્રીયલમાં બી આવું હોય કે કેમિકલ ઇન્ડસ્ટ્રી નહીં નાખી શકો. મીન્સ સમ લિમિટેશન્સ will be there, and due to that you cannot value equally the freehold property and leasehold property, right?
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Ma'am, one more question.
Yes.
When would use a liquidation valuation, and when liquidation valuation will produce the highest value?
See, liquidation value cannot produce the highest value. Liquidation means like your asset is non performing, means bank is liquidate your value, selling your value due to your non payment of the installment. Means it cannot be highest value. It is 25 to 30% compared less discounted compared to your prevailing market value, because auction value is always bank easy જલ્દીમાં જલ્દી એમના મની લિક્વિડેટ કરવા છે. ઓકે, તો વોટ એવર ધી માર્કેટ વેલ્યુ હોય એના કરતા એની વેલ્યુ ઓલવેઝ લેસ જ હોય. ઇટ કેનોટ બી હાઈએસ્ટ વેલ્યુ. કરેક્ટ? અને બેંક એને એડવર્ટાઇઝમેન્ટ આપશે, પેપરમાં એડવર્ટાઇઝમેન્ટ આપશે, ઓપ્શનમાં કેટલા લોકો આવે છે, પહેલા ઓપ્શનમાં નહીં આવે તો વધારે ડિસ્કાઉન્ટ કરીને સેકન્ડ ઓપ્શન મૂકવું પડે. સો લિક્વિડેશન વેલ્યુ કેનોટ બી હાઈએસ્ટ. ઇટ ઇઝ ઓલવેઝ લેસ discounted compared to your market value. Okay.
Any more questions?
Yes. So almost all the things have been covered. No questions. See, when no questions are there, no, there are two possibilities. Either I am able to justify all the things very well, or you had not listened anything. Means there are chances, two chances will be there.
There is one question. Can we do valuation of national monuments? And if yes, how?
National monuments? Okay, you can do, but in that also cost approach only you can utilize. Means whatever the land value is there, that you have to arrive at, and whatever the construction cost. Correct? એ જૂના ટાઈમના જે મોન્યુમેન્ટ્સમાં તો શું કે લાઈક હેવીલી સ્ટોન્સ ને બધું યુઝ થયું હોય તો એની કેટલી કોસ્ટ એઝ ઓન ડેટ છે. કરેક્ટ? તો that cost of construction plus whatever. See, when you are giving valuation, no, at that time you have to use net present value only. એટલે જે નેશનલ મોન્યુમેન્ટમાં પણ જૂના વર્ષોનું બધી વસ્તુઓ યુઝ થઈ હોય તો એની આજની ડેટમાં વેલ્યુ કોસ્ટ ઓફ કન્સ્ટ્રક્શન કેટલી થશે તે જ તમારે કન્સિડર કરવી પડે. અને વોટ એવર ધી લેન્ડ પેચ, તો લેન્ડ પેચ આજુબાજુમાં જે લેન્ડની વેલ્યુ ચાલતી હોય ધેટ યુ હેવ ટુ કન્સિડર, પ્લસ વોટ એવર ધી કન્સ્ટ્રક્શન મટીરિયલ યુટિલાઇઝ એની આજની ડેટમાં કોસ્ટ, that you have to add up. That is by cost approach only, because એના કોઈ સેલ ટ્રાન્ઝેક્શન, comparables તમને નહીં મળે. Okay, so whatever the unique type of constructions are there now, that you have to evaluate based on the cost approach only, whatever the land cost plus whatever the construction cost. Yes, Kinjal ma'am, so we can conclude the session.
I think it was an excellent presentation, and from the explanation, I think most of the queries
Okay, thank you.
are resolved during the presentation itself.
Thank you.
So, thank you very much once again, Kavita, on behalf of UCA Tarsadia University and Chotubai Gopalbhai Patel Institute of Technology. We are very thankful
Thank you.
to come forward, accept our invitation, and share your knowledge, your expertise with our students in this difficult time. Our request and that you be continue in helping us. Thank you very much,
Thank you.
and stay safe. I think
are
we
most
should
welcome.
do here.
Yeah.
So thank you very much from all of us from here.
Okay. Thank you.